Gun violence is an issue in cities all across the country, and Calgary is no different. What makes Calgary different is the approach that Calgary Police Services has. I'm Cristina Howorun in the Firearms Forensics Labs, one of only 2 city-run firearms labs in all of the country. Now, that's a big deal when it comes to crime solving, because it means that Calgary Police can trace the source of every single gun, and there are a lot of them. Does Calgary have a gun problem?
Yes, we do. We're recovering smuggled firearms from the U.S. from individuals involved in organized crime.
Last year, Calgary witnessed a decline in shootings, and police recovered 428 crime guns. Now, these are guns that are used in the commission of a crime, like robberies, but they're also those that are illegally stored or transported.
Recently, we've seen an uptick in recovered smuggled firearms from eastern states like Ohio.
How important is that to find out where the gun came from?
Well, it's extremely important. We've developed great relationships, for example, with the ATF in the U.S., as well as the Homeland Security investigations as well, also from the U.S. And so by partnering with them, they're helping us track and trace the source of these guns that we're recovering here in our city.
But Calgary is doing top-level tracing on its own, too. It's home to one of only 2 municipal firearms forensics labs in the entire country.
If the detectives, through the course of their investigation, came up with a suspect gun through a search warrant perhaps, we would then be comparing that gun to these bullets to determine if they were fired from that gun.
So how do you do that?
So this is the bullet recovery system that uses water that we're going to be looking at now.
Okay.
So what we need to do now is recover some test bullets from the suspect gun so that we can compare them microscopically to the scene bullets. We're going to do that by firing the suspect gun into this large water tank, and the water is going to slow the bullet down, and it'll be in a condition that we can still examine the markings under a microscope. And they're going to take the bullets fired from the suspect's gun, and they're going to take a bullet from the deceased, and they're going to put them under a microscope and compare them side by side. And they're going to basically go around to all the markings that the gun put on the bullets until they determine either it is or it isn't the same gun.
Criminals often try to conceal a gun's identity by removing the serial numbers.
We try and bring back or restore that serial number on the gun that's been obliterated.
So how successful are you at that?
We restore approximately 80% of those that have been obliterated, yeah. So we do that on every gun that needs it.
What does it look like? So I see here you've got a part of a gun.
Yeah.
And then this would be the obliterated part?
That's exactly, yeah.
And so what do you do?
Well, we have a couple methods that we use to restore these serial numbers. This is one method that uses an electromagnetic current, and we're going to use that in combination with a solution of little metal particles. And what it does after some preparation is it can actually display what used to be there as far as the serial number, enough so that we can record it and by notes or photographs and document that.
And then it disappears again.
Yeah, and then it's not actually restored back to its original, but it is enough so that we can read it. Yeah.
Does it make it tougher for a criminal to get away with a gun crime here?
I'd have to say yes. If you're going to come to Calgary to commit a crime with a gun, there's a pretty good chance you're going to get caught.
That's what Calgary is doing to curb gun violence. But what about the government? Tune in tomorrow to find out. Cristina Howorun, City News.